One of the quietly frustrating things about business grants is that they do not sit still. Schemes are introduced, updated, renamed, tightened, and sometimes retired, and the program that was perfect for you last year might work differently today, or a new one that fits you perfectly might have launched without you ever hearing about it. The owners who make the most of grants are rarely the ones who know the most right now. They are the ones who have a habit of staying current. So in the next few minutes, we are going to build that habit together, the reliable sources worth following, and a simple routine for checking in, so that you catch the schemes that matter instead of finding out too late. One important note before we begin. This channel is educational only. We are not a government agency. We are not affiliated with or endorsed by Go Business Enterprise Singapore or any government body, and nothing here is official advice. Schemes and their details change constantly, which is rather the point of this video. So we will keep to habits and sources rather than specifics, and always point you back to the official source, gobusiness.gov.sg, to confirm what is current for your situation before you rely on any of it. Why schemes keep changing? It helps to start by accepting that change is normal, not a glitch. Support for businesses is a tool of policy, and policy responds to the economy, to new priorities, and to what is working and what is not. So schemes evolve. A program might be broadened to reach more businesses, narrowed to focus on a particular goal, refreshed with new conditions, or replaced by something that fits the moment better. None of that is designed to catch you out. It is simply the system doing its job of staying relevant. But it does mean that a one-time understanding of the landscape goes stale. What you learned about grants a while ago is a snapshot, not a permanent map. Once you accept that the ground shifts, the sensible response is obvious. Do not try to memorize a fixed picture. Build a habit of refreshing it, the cost of missing one. It is worth being honest about why this matters, because staying current takes a little effort, and it should earn its keep. The cost of not keeping up is invisible but real. It is the support you were eligible for and never claimed, the new scheme that would have fit your plans, the deadline that passed while you were busy, the change to a program you were relying on that you only discovered too late. You rarely get a notification that you missed something. It just quietly does not happen, which is exactly what makes it so easy to let slide. Framed the other way, a modest habit of staying informed can put opportunities in front of you that you would otherwise never have known existed. That asymmetry, small effort, potentially meaningful payoff, is the whole case for building the routine we are about to describe. Start with the official portals. The foundation of staying current is knowing the official portals and treating them as your source of truth. For Singapore business grants, the central starting point is gobusiness.gov.sg, which is designed to help businesses find and understand the support available to them. Making a habit of going there, browsing what is listed, and using it to check anything you hear elsewhere is the single most valuable thing you can do. The reason to anchor on the official portal is simple. It is accurate and current in a way that second-hand summaries, including this channel, can never be. So whatever else you follow, let the official source be the place you confirm things. If a scheme, a change, or a detail matters to your decision, that is where you verify it before you act, not a forum post or a half-remembered article. The agencies behind the schemes. Beyond the central portal, it helps to know the agencies that actually run the schemes, because they are the origin of the news. Enterprise Singapore at enterprisesg.gov.sg is a key one for many business support programs, and different schemes are administered by different agencies depending on their purpose. Following the relevant agencies through their websites and official channels puts you closer to the source, where new programs and changes are announced first. The advantage of going to the agency directly is that you are reading the original, not someone's interpretation of it, which removes a layer where errors and outdated information creep in. You do not need to follow everyone, just the agencies whose remit overlaps with your industry and your plans, so the news that reaches you is the news that is actually relevant to your business. Portals and agency sites are excellent when you go to them, but the trouble with pull sources is that they rely on you remembering to look. That is where newsletters and mailing lists earn their place. They push updates to you, landing in your inbox whether or not you thought to check that week. Signing up for official newsletters and any reputable business support mailing lists means relevant news comes to you, which quietly solves the problem of forgetting. The habit here is to subscribe once from trustworthy sources and then to actually read what arrives rather than letting it pile up unopened. A good newsletter is like having someone watch the landscape on your behalf and tap you on the shoulder when something changes. And for a busy owner who cannot monitor everything, that gentle prompt is often what makes the difference between catching a scheme and missing it. Advisors and your network. Not all of your intelligence has to come from documents. Some of the best of it comes from people. Business advisors, industry associations, accountants, and consultants who work with grants regularly often know about changes early, and part of their value is keeping current so their clients can act. Your peers matter too. Other owners in your industry frequently hear about schemes through their own channels, and a quick conversation can surface something you would never have found alone. Being part of an industry association, or simply staying connected with other businesses in your field, turns staying informed into something partly social rather than entirely solitary. The one caution is to treat what you hear from people as a lead, not a conclusion. A tip from an advisor or a peer is a reason to go and check the official source, not a substitute for it. Watch for announcements. There are also moments in the year when it is especially worth paying attention, because that is when changes tend to cluster. Government budgets and major policy announcements are often when new support is introduced or existing schemes are adjusted, so these are natural times to tune in and see what has shifted. You do not need to follow every detail of national policy, but knowing that certain announcements tend to bring grant news means you can look actively at those moments rather than relying on the news to find you. When you hear that a budget or a significant announcement has been made, treat it as a cue to check whether anything relevant to your business has changed. A little attention at the right moments catches a lot, because that is when the landscape does much of its moving. Build a simple review routine. All of these sources only help if you actually use them. And the way to guarantee that is a routine, something scheduled rather than left to whenever you happen to think of it. It can be genuinely simple. Set a recurring reminder, perhaps every few months, to spend a little time reviewing the landscape. Visit the official portal, skim the newsletters you have saved, and note anything new or changed that could fit your plans. The point is not to do a lot each time, it is to do a little regularly, so that no scheme goes unnoticed for long. A short, repeated review beats an occasional deep dive, because grants change on their own schedule, not yours, and a periodic check is how you keep meeting them halfway. Put it in the calendar, and staying current stops depending on memory and starts happening by default. Always verify before you act. One habit ties all of this together and protects you from the biggest risk, which is acting on something out of date. Because schemes change so often, anything you read or hear, including everything on this channel, is a starting point, not the final word. Before you make a decision, apply for something, or rely on a detail, confirm it against the official source, because a scheme you remember or an article you read may no longer reflect how things stand today. This is not about distrust. It is about recognizing that in a landscape that keeps moving, the only safe authority is the current official one. So gather leads widely from portals, newsletters, advisors, and peers, but verify narrowly on gobusiness.gov.sg before you act. That single discipline turns a fast-changing system from a hazard into something you can navigate with confidence. A closing thought. So here is the habit to carry away. Grant schemes will keep changing, and the way to never miss one is not to know everything now, but to build a simple system for staying current, anchor on the official portals, follow the agencies that run the schemes, subscribe to trustworthy newsletters, stay connected to advisors and peers, pay attention when major announcements land, and set a regular reminder to review it all. Above everything, verify what matters against the official source before you act. Remember that this channel is general and educational. We are not a government agency, and we are not affiliated with or endorsed by anyone, and schemes and details change constantly, which is exactly why the habit matters more than any fact. So make gobusiness.gov.sg your source of truth, build the routine, and let it quietly keep the right opportunities in front of you. If this gave you a practical way to stay ahead, Subscribe for more plain English Singapore grant explainers, and we will keep helping you make sense of the landscape, one habit at a time.